Sairam students, welcome to the second session of chapter 13, that is changes, physical and chemical. So children, before starting today's session, let's revise what we had learnt in the last session. So we had seen what are changes. So changes means there may be alteration in the shape, size, state, etc. Right? So there are lot of changes around us. So we saw around 11 types of changes which are there in this chapter, right? So what are those? Man-made changes, useful changes, harmful changes, your slow changes, fast or quick changes, then reversible change, irreversible change. So till yesterday we had seen till about the irreversible change, right? So today we will see about the rest of the changes, that is periodic changes, non-periodic changes, physical and chemical changes, right? So children, what we had seen in man-made changes, the changes which are made by man, those are called as man-made changes, right? Then we saw about the useful changes. So changes which are useful to us, they are called as useful changes. And the changes that are harmful to us, that is they harm us, those are called as harmful changes. Changes that require a short period of time are called as fast or quick changes. Changes which require a longer period of time are called as slow changes. Then reversible changes means the changes which can in which the original form which is there, it can be changed to an another form, and again it can be reverted back to the original form. Then we saw about the irreversible change. In irreversible change, a new substance is formed, but it cannot be brought back to the original form. So children, let's start with today's session with the periodic changes. The changes which occur again and again after a definite interval of time are called as the periodic changes. So periodic changes, they will occur again and again at a required time. There will be a particular time and they will come again and again. For example, day and night. So every day there is day, then night comes, then next day again day starts, again night comes. So it is happening again and again at a particular interval of time. Beating of heart. So beating of heart also, as I told you, there is contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation. So it keeps on going, right? Then change in season. Every year there is all the three seasons, right? Summer, winter, rainy season. So every year this is there, right? So it is happening again and again at a definite interval of time. So periodic changes are the changes which occur again and again after a definite interval of time. So examples are day and night, beating of heart, change in season, etc. There might be more examples, children, which you can write of your choice also. What are non-periodic changes? The changes which will recur after one occurrence are called as non-periodic changes, right? So, and even if they recur, the time interval is not fixed, right? So what are non-periodic changes? They will occur only once, right? So those are called as non-periodic. And even if they occur again, the time interval will not be fixed. Like in the periodic changes, after day and night is passed away, next day at the same moment there will be day and night, right? So there is a fixed interval of time. Here there is no fixed interval. So accident, illness, changes due to the earthquake, burning of a matchstick, etc. These are the examples. So accident, it can happen anytime, right? And it can happen many times also, but there will be, it will not have a fixed time interval, right? So these are the non-periodic changes. Now what is a physical change? Properties of the original substances remain the same, that is their composition remains unchanged. So, and no new substances formed, it is a temporary change. It is easily reversible, that is original substance can be recovered. An example is processes of dissolving, melting, boiling, etc. So what happens in physical change? The substance which is there, original form which is there, it will remain as it is, and the composition means whatever composition or the properties are there in that substance, that will remain as it is. So from that substance, new substance will not be formed, right? And this change will also be for a temporary, for a small moment of time, right? And physical changes which occur, it is also easily reversible. That means you can again that original substance can be formed because of this physical change, right? So your melting, boiling, etc., these are the examples of physical change. Like suppose ice, if you take, right? So ice, it will melt, right? And then it will get converted into water. So again it can be reversed, right? By keeping it in keeping the water in the freezer, again ice will get formed, right? So it is easily reversible and you can get the original substance again, right? So a new substance is not being formed in this physical change, right? So what is a physical change? Properties of the original substances remain the same. That is their composition, it also remains the same. There is no changes in the composition also. So no new substance is formed, and the change is also temporary, and it is also easily reversible. That means original substance can be recovered. So what are the examples? Processes of dissolving, melting, boiling, etc. Next is you can see here, children, this is the image. Now in the first one you can see this is a raw mango, right? And this is a ripened mango, right? Now tell me, children, what type of change it is, right? Now green, it is just changing from green color to yellow color, right? So first of all, no new substance is formed, right? Because the mango is the same, right? So it is a physical change, but also if you see, it is a chemical change also. How it is chemical? Because when you eat this raw mango, the taste will be different, and when you eat the ripened mango, the taste will be different, the smell will be different, right? And it is also an irreversible change. Why it is an irreversible change? Because the ripened mango cannot be again brought back to the raw mango, right? So there are three types of changes involved in this. Also you can say it is a natural change also, because the raw mango, it is becoming ripened naturally also. So a particular substance can have many types of changes in it. Now let's take the second example. What is there in a dish? There are some iron filings, pieces of paper, right? And some nails. So by taking a magnet, you can separate it, right? You all know that the magnet, it gets attracted to the iron filings, right? So with that you can separate the iron nails, right? So what type of change this is? This is a physical change only, because again you are not getting a new substance, right? Only you are separating the iron nails from the pieces of the paper or pieces of, or from the sand, right? So it is a physical type of change. Now let's take the third example. What is there? This is a bud and this is a flower, right? So what type of change this is, children? It is a physical change, right? And it is an irreversible change also, because what is happening? The bud, it is getting converted into a flower, right? Actually, no new substance is formed. It is a physical change only, because also now it is an irreversible change, because the flower, it cannot come back to the original form of the bud, right? Now the last example, let's see. This is the glass containing ice cubes, and this is the after melting, the ice has converted into water, right? So again this is a type of a physical change, right? Because what is happening? Ice is just getting converted into water, right? Also it is a reversible change, because reversible change means again if you keep this water in a freezer, you will again get the ice cubes, right? So the changes, there may be lot of changes in a particular substance, right? Means it may be a natural change, it might be reversible change, all these things, right? Now, what is a chemical change? The change due to which one substance is transformed into another substance having new and different properties is called as a chemical change. It is permanent change. Changes are irreversible. That is, original substance cannot be recovered. For example, digestion of food, burning of coal, rusting, etc. So, in chemical change, what happens? From one substance you get a new substance, right? Another substance is formed which is a new substance, and there are different properties in it, right, in that new substance, and that change will be permanent only, right? Like in physical change it was temporary, but in chemical it is permanent. You cannot reverse it back. It is also irreversible. You cannot bring it back to the original form. Now, digestion of food. Now, when whatever food you are eating, it goes into the stomach and it gets digested and it is excreted. You cannot reverse it back, right? Burning of coal also, when you burn coal also, it will get converted into ashes, right? So you are not going to get the coal back again. Even rusting, right? If the iron, it gets rusted, you cannot bring it back to the original iron form, right? So these chemical changes, they are mostly irreversible, and the change is also permanent. So what are chemical changes? The change due to which one substance is transformed into another substance having new and different properties is called as a chemical change. And the chemical changes, they are permanent and they are also irreversible. That means original substance cannot be recovered. So examples: digestion of food, burning of coal, rusting, etc. Now, what do you mean by corrosion? Now, children, you might have seen whatever iron article, if you, any iron article is kept. So, what happens because of its contact with the oxygen and the water, right? What happens? It a reddish brown color is formed. That means that is known as a rust, right? So it gets rusted because it comes in contact with the oxygen and the water, right? So when an iron article rusts, a reddish brown layer forms on it. A greenish layer is seen to form on a copper article, right? On the copper articles you can see a green color layer. So what is this process? This process is called as corrosion of metals. Now because of this, what happens? Things become weak due to corrosion. And corrosion, it is caused by the oxygen, moisture, vapors of the chemicals in the air, right? So what is corrosion? Whenever any iron article, it gets rusted, a reddish brown color layer you can see. Even on the copper article you can see a green color layer. So this process is known as corrosion of metals. And because of corrosion, what happens? Things, whichever articles are there, they become weak. And how is this corrosion caused? It is because of the oxygen or moisture or the vapors of the chemicals which are present in the air. Articles, they are given a thin coat of zinc to prevent the corrosion, and this is called as galvanization. So copper and brass articles, they are coated with tin. This is called as tinning, right? So to prevent corrosion, what is done? Iron articles, they are given a thin coat of zinc. And what is this process called as? This process is called as galvanization. So the copper and brass articles, they are coated with tin, right? And this process is called as tinning. Now, in this age of technology, a new process called powder coating has been developed, right? So as we are going advanced, right, as new technologies are coming, so a new process called as powder coating has been developed. So you can see now the wrought iron furniture and other things, so these are all powder coated, right? So coats of various colors are applied on metals like iron and aluminium, and this, they prevent the corrosion of metal. So corrosion of metal can be prevented by all these things. So powder coating, you can see there are a lot of furniture nowadays available in powder coating, right? So let's look at this table, children. It's a phenomena and you have to identify which type of change it is, physical change or chemical change. First one is transformation of ice into water. Now tell me, children, it is which type of change, physical change or chemical change? It's a physical change, right? Because water, ice is getting converted into water, and again it can be brought back to the original form, that is ice, right? And then cooking of food, which type of change it is? It's a chemical change, because a new dish is getting prepared. Ripening of fruit, it is which type of change, children? It is both physical change also and chemical change also, because in physical change what happens? The same mango is there which is getting ripened, right? But in the chemical change what happens? The color is changing, the taste is also changing, right? Milk turned into curd, it is which type of change? It is a chemical change, because a new substance, that is curd, is formed, and curd, it cannot be again brought to the original form of the milk. Evaporation of water, so water is getting evaporated, so it's a physical change, right? Then digestion of food in the stomach, it is a chemical type of change, right? Now let's move to the next one. Size reduction of naphtha balls exposed to air. Naphtha balls is nothing but your naphthalene balls. So it's a physical type of change, because it gets evaporated. Staining of shabat or kadappa tile by lemon juice. So here what happens? To remove the stains, lemon juice is added, right? So there is a reaction. So it's a chemical type of change. Breaking of a glass object on falling from a height, it is a physical type of change, because the glass is falling down and getting broken into pieces, right? So so I hope students, you have got a better idea of about the physical change and the chemical change. So with this, children, we finish our chapter changes physical and chemical. It's a very small chapter, right? So let's recap what we have learned today. Today we saw about the periodic and non-periodic changes. So periodic changes are those which occur again and again at a definite interval of time, and non-periodic changes are those which occur which occur only once, and there is no fixed time of interval in it, right? Then we saw about the physical change. So what happens in physical change? In physical change, no new substances formed, and the changes, it is temporary, and it is a reversible change also, right? So there is just change in the shape and size of the substance. Then we saw about the chemical change. So what is a chemical change? In chemical change, a new substance is formed. The changes, they are permanent, and it is a irreversible type of change, because no new means you cannot recover the original substance from it. And then lastly we saw about the corrosion of metals, right? So because of the exposure to oxygen, moisture or water, what happens? A reddish brown layer gets formed on the iron articles, or a green color layer on the copper articles. So it has to be coated with a thin coat of zinc for the iron articles to prevent the corrosion, right? And so that process, it is called as galvanization, right? And then we saw about some examples of physical and chemical change. So children, in the next session we'll start with a new chapter. Till then, goodbye.